Give me a chance to lead this institution according to the ideals that we stand for. Not to crucify me just because I come from some country. Some of you maybe feel like we are still colonized in the mind. No. No, we are not. No, we are not. So please, let's respect each other. I'm doing the best that I can, and that is exactly what I'll do. That is my commitment to you. I will keep doing that.
This is the journey to One Africa.
Lithuania, member of delegation Semeshka. Madam President, I would like to ask you about your last trip to Russia. What did you feel when shaking hands with the war criminal Putin from a terrorist regime in Russia? What especially mandated you, who especially mandated you to represent the IPU, and what benefit did this visit bring to democracy and not to Russian propaganda? Do you agree that your visit to Russia before visiting victim country Ukraine was a mistake, and do you regret it? Thank you.
Thank you.
Ukraine is at this stage. Ukraine is here.
Okay, so before you take the, I don't know, can you have a seat for a second? Yeah, point of order, Russia. Go ahead. You have to press somewhere, request to speak. So that, okay, I've seen it. Okay.
I may speak loudly. Just
no,
now.
go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Just now, the representative of Lithuania called the president of Russia a military criminal. I believe it's absolutely unacceptable, and that needs a reaction from the podium, from the president of the Interparliamentary Union. Thank you.
I will respond to the point of order in just give me a few minutes. I will now give the opportunity to Ukraine. You have 2 minutes.
Finally. Madam President, I will try to be as short as possible because I value our time and time of all our colleagues. You reported that you met with Putin. I want all of us to know that it happened just a few days after Russian missile destroyed the famous children's hospital Ohmedit in Kiev. Just a few days. And because of that, I have a few simple questions to Madam President. Really questions. And I and many of my colleagues, not only from 12 plus, but all around this assembly, also want to get the answers. First question. When the members of Governing Council will receive the full protocol of your meeting with Putin? Second question, did you discuss with him the APU resolutions about Russian aggression to Ukraine? Third question, did you raise during this meeting the topic of kidnapped Ukrainian children? And last but not least, why you, Madam President, not answering the written requests from delegations to you, but even not only from delegations, but also from the geopolitical groups? I mean, written requests about information. We already sent them and we didn't receive any answer. You know, we should understand that such meetings, they are just prolonging the war, but not stopping it. And because of that, such meetings, they continue suffering of the people, not only in Ukraine, but in particular, for example, in African countries, when people become really suffer because of the food crisis caused by Russian unprovoked aggression to Ukraine. So I will kindly ask you to answer my 4 very simple questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now I'm going to request the members who have asked for the floor to keep pressing the. Once you have pressed, don't repress it unless I don't call you, so that the names of your countries keep showing here. So I will call the ones that I can see here, but I have all the names, so don't worry. Now I was seeing the United Kingdom, but now it has disappeared. Okay, the Gambia. Sorry? Yeah, but then I only have to place here, so I can't call when I don't see it here. So the Gambia? No? Okay. I see Madagascar. People are just pressing the buttons. They're just pressing the buttons. That's going to be...
Which country is that?
Which country is that?
Canada. Canada. Is it Canada? Yes. Canada.
Okay, Canada is you here, so... Yeah, Canada, you have the floor.
Well, thank you very much, Madam President. I just, first of all, say that I'm a first-time attendee, or delegate, if you will, for the IPU. And central to the question, of course, is the President's representation at the IPU. With respect to your visit to Russia and your meeting with President Putin, who waged an illegal war against Ukraine, I think that this assembly should receive the answer as to what happened at this meeting. Exactly what was communicated to the President from you on behalf of the IPU, and as well, what was his response. On Saturday, we had a preliminary discussion about this matter. Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, I'm sorry to say I did not hear a response from you to those questions. And I think that it is absolutely critical that those answers are provided and that there's accountability with respect to your role on behalf of the IPU. Just finally to say, Canada stands with Ukraine. I think this is absolutely critical by way of an explanation from you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I can now see Namibia. Namibia? You, hold on, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam President. I really wanted to say 1 or 2 things. First of all, a word of thank you for the report you have just shared with us. A long list of events that we have covered during the course of your activities conducted in the interest of fostering parliamentary diplomacy. There's no doubt about that. I think all of us do stand to benefit from such a report. All I'm trying to say is that I think you have done a remarkable job. Honestly speaking, all the events and various places you covered, that shows you of your commitment, immense commitment to foster the work of IPU. For that, we owe you a great thank you and a debt of appreciation. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Namibia. Now, Denmark. Do you also have to want? Denmark? God. What?
Now it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. President. My name is Søren Søndergaard, Chair of the Danish delegation. I want to congratulate you with all your activities in the recent term. It's very impressive. But there's one activity I want to discuss, and that is the meeting you had with Russian President Putin. Not perhaps because of the meeting you had with him, but the fact that you didn't have had a meeting with Ukraine President Zelensky. We have a clear opinion on the conflict here in the IPU. We are taking a stand, and this stand is very clear that Russia have violated international law by attacking Ukraine. When there is a country violating international law, of course you have to talk with the people who have been violated first. What is the situation now? The situation now is, even 3 months have passed, you have talked with the aggressor, but you have not talked with the victim. There has been no meeting with Zelensky. This is not a very good thing. And therefore, as I said, I congratulated on all the meetings, but I think this was a failure. We have to make a distinction between aggressor and people who is the victims of aggression. Thank you.
UAE, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Well, in this, I won't speak on behalf of the UAE. I will speak as a chairman of the task force for mediation between Russia and Ukraine. Since the establishment of this task force, we had several meetings with both sides, representatives from Parliament. And during our last meeting in Geneva in March, actually, we had a meeting with Madam President. I want to clarify this to everyone here. And during that meeting, we requested from the President of the IPU to help us by engaging with the executive, because we felt that, you know, talking to the Parliament is great, the engagement is good, but we need the support of the executive from both sides. We need them to listen to us. We want to listen to them. And this is, we as a task force actually requested from Madam President to start engaging with both executive government in Ukraine and in Russia. And that was which she initiated, and she wanted to start with Ukraine. And that was part of the schedule which the Secretary General and the team actually worked on. But unfortunately, because of other commitment that President Zelensky had, he had to go to Washington to attend the NATO meeting. That meeting was cancelled 2 days before the meeting should be held. And then we were already scheduling a meeting for BRICS, where she was invited as an IPU president, and she attended, and she did that meeting. What I want everyone to know that, you know, we as a task force requested the support and the engagement of the president of the IPU with the executive to help us in our mission for getting to peace between Ukraine and Russia. Thank you.
Dear colleagues, please bear with us. We still have a long agenda, and we have only 1 hour remaining for the Governing Council. So, you have already spoken. You were given a chance to speak here. Give me time to first address the Governing Council, respond to the issues that were raised, then we go back to the agenda, because the agenda is very long and we only have 1 hour from now. Please, can you hold on? Thank you. Okay, now that said, I am sorry, I have recognized those who had indicated to need time to speak, but in the interest of time, we will not be able to give all of you the floor. But because Ukraine had spoken, and in the interest of fairness, Russia will be given a chance, then I will address you on all the concerns that have been raised about the report. Russia? Hold on. Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. What we see here now does not make me happy, and this is not about Russia being attacked, it's about the IPU being attacked and the President of the Interparliamentary Union being attacked by a certain geopolitical group. All people who criticized you represented 12 plus. This is a consolidated position of 12 plus, which is well known. But 12 plus tries to force the president of the IPU be the voice of 12 plus. And the 12 plus group tries to force the Interparliamentary Union be the voice of 12 plus, which I believe is absolutely unacceptable. We are more here than just one geopolitical group. Talking about the forum in St. Petersburg, the president of the Interparliamentary Union, just for your knowledge, was invited to participate in the 10th Parliamentary Forum of BRICS countries and parliaments. And 18 parliaments were represented at that meeting, and thank you very much, Madam President, that you accepted this invitation, because this is your duty. The meeting was held in the Russian Federation because Russia right now presides, is the chair country of BRICS, and this is the common decision of BRICS countries to be respected. And of course, Russia hosted the forum, and the President of Russia addressed the forum, and it was absolutely natural for some participants, not just the President of the Interparliamentary Union. The President of Russia had more than one meeting with the speakers of parliaments which were represented at this meeting, and this is absolutely natural and absolutely within the framework of the duties and the power of the President of Interparliamentary Union. So please, Madam President, stay strong. You are absolutely right. And I would like to thank the task force on Russia-Ukraine conflict for doing their work and trying to assist to find acceptable solutions for both sides in the conflict, which is the only possible approach to be taken by the Interparliamentary Union. Thank you so much, Madam President. Stay strong.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, a concern was raised by Iraq in respect of the report that I've just given you, and Iraq was questioning, why did I visit Russia in the context of the war in Ukraine and not Gaza? I would like to inform my colleague that you might note that in November last year, I visited Palestine and I visited Israel and I met the leaders. And that was my first visit after becoming president in October. So it's not like I have ignored what is happening in the Middle East, what is happening in Lebanon, what is happening in Gaza, and what happened in Israel. So I treat all the conflicts the same way. And you might also want to note the conflicts that we are talking about in the Middle East, the war that we are talking about in Ukraine, they are not the only conflicts that IPU is looking at. We are concerned about what is happening in Yemen. We are concerned about what is happening in Syria. We are concerned about what is happening in Sudan. We are concerned about what is happening in West Africa. We are concerned about what is happening in DRC. Lithuania asked specific questions. Who mandated you to visit Russia? Why not Ukraine first? The letters were sent out, dear colleagues. The letters were sent very explicitly. They explained, and if you need copies of those letters because they are not secrets, you can always have copies. Letters were sent to our counterparts in Ukraine. Letters were sent to our counterparts in Russia. My visit was to begin with Ukraine. Ukraine responded the dates that we were ready to visit them. Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Speaker would be in New York for the NATO meeting. Would I have stopped them? No. It would be wise. In any case, I don't have such powers. Now, because the meeting of BRICS was taking place, would I stop going to Russia because Ukraine is not ready to receive me because of time? No. Why? Because IPU stands for dialogue. IPU is talking about parliamentary diplomacy. And it is in that context that I did all that I did. And I thought I would be given a little credit for all the efforts that I've done, not to be crucified for things that I have not. You're asking here who mandated me. Who mandated the former president who came from the 12+ to visit Kiev? Who mandated him? Please, I think we have to reach a point where I have explained myself several times to you 12+, to everybody else who cared to understand. If you have a feeling like I went to Russia without going to Ukraine first, I have told you several times, letters were sent out. I wouldn't turn out my visit to Russia because I'm unable to reach Ukraine. You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Israel, did you? You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Palestine, did you? You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit Sudan. You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit other places. I think, colleagues, let's have trust. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate, and I think you are dealing with me unjustifiably, which is not fair to anybody. The questions that you have been raising, I have responded them to the best of my knowledge and to the best of my objectivity in all this matter. And you must know, I would not have asked to meet Mr. Putin if it wasn't for Ukraine. My commitment to doing that, and this is not the first place I'm visiting. Why is it that it's looking like I have met this person and therefore the president of IPU has all of a sudden become a monster? Please treat me with dignity the same way I am treating you with dignity. I will at all times advance parliamentary diplomacy. I will at all times give respect to the ideals of IPU, but I request you members to also accept I'm not God, I'm not an angel, I'm only human, I'm doing what is possible within my powers. The president of the task force has just informed you, and I have been repeating myself in this respect. I was requested by the task force to do what I did. What did I do wrong? I was supposed to sit back and tie my hands and say there's nothing we can do as IPU. That will not be doing justice to the women and children of Ukraine who are suffering. That wouldn't be fair to the mandate that you have given me. Give me a chance to lead this institution according to the ideals that we stand for. Not to crucify me just because I come from some country. Some of you maybe feel like we are still colonized in the mind. No. No, we are not. No, we are not. So please, let's respect each other. I'm doing the best that I can, and that is exactly what I'll do. That is my commitment to you. I will keep doing that. Thank you very much. Some issues have been raised here, very specifically wanting me to say, somebody said they want the full record. I did not record the meeting, so I don't have that record. Secondly, the resolutions were they shared, they have been shared several times, and I also mentioned them. Kidnapped children that are in Russia, that is an important issue to IPU. We have been working together with the task force, and we will keep working together to make sure children are returned to Ukraine. You have talked about written requests. I have responded to every request that comes to me. The good thing is when they come to me, they go to the Secretary General as well. There is no secret about this thing. If anybody wants more information, we have a whole file of all the communications. On the other hand, I have been asked here, Denmark asked me why I visited Russia while I haven't visited Ukraine. I have already expressed what actually happened. I believe, dear colleagues, this explanation puts at rest this matter so that you let me lead the institution you entrusted me to.
Thank you, Madam President. Just 1 minute from me not to be emotional and to finish this discussion as we hope. There is nothing to do with the position of Ukraine or with the position of the 12+ group. It has to do with 2 resolutions of the IPU that you, as member of Tanzania, before that also voted. So unanimously, we had 2 resolutions of the IPU to stop the aggression of Russian Federation against Ukraine. And I think that we need to respect the decision of every country here who voted for those resolutions in 2022 and 2023. So I really, I trust you and I expect you that you raised this issue with Mr. Putin and that you said that there is a position of the whole IPU, of the whole world, to stop the aggression and to stop the illegal annexation and to stop the decisions of Mr. Putin that he took to start the war, to start the aggression and to annex 4 regions of Ukraine. When you were there talking to Mr. Putin, I was giving birth to my child, who is right now here with me. She is 9 months old, and I had to give birth in the bomb shelter underneath in Kiev because Russian missiles were flying on top. No baby should spend the first day of her life in the bomb shelter. Not a baby in Gaza, not a baby in Sudan, not a baby in Somalia, not a baby in Ukraine. And I hope that you raise this question, because to trust you, and we did, we elected you. So to trust you, we need you to be as transparent as possible and respect the decisions of this organization, the decisions of IPU, not just towards Ukraine, but towards any other matters that we took. And the decisions to stop and condemn Russian aggression was a decision we took here twice, unanimously. So we do trust you. Please, please, please use this trust wisely, and please do it in the future more transparent and with more respect towards this organization that you preside. Thank you.
I thank you for the trust.